Hello everyone, Karen Glasser here, and welcome to this episode of the Passion Point. This is the show where we follow passionistas from all around the world who are following their passion, making a living, doing what they love. And today we have Fabian Markl. Fabian is from near Munich, Germany. He got his master's degree in physics, and deciding that this is not the right path in his life, he left the laboratory and began studying online marketing. That is such a stretch, and we're going to talk about that. Online marketing, physics, sort of like no connection whatsoever, but maybe there is. He left the laboratory and began studying online marketing, which has always fascinated him since a teenager. And he wanted to do it since he was a child, publishing his own book. It's called Unlimited Freedom, Your Guide to an Awakened Life. So while working his day job, Fabian is now creating the Publicity Mastery Summit, an online conference where 20 high-profile entrepreneurs and do-it-yourself PR experts teach you their step-by-step strategies to land TV, radio, podcast, and magazine interviews, even if nobody has never heard from you or heard about you or even know who you are. This is going to help you. I'm really excited because I actually was a guest as one of the guests on the summit, and I'm happy to have Fabian here with us today to tell us his story and his journey. So welcome to the show, Fabian. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for inviting me to your amazing Passion Point with all these incredible people you interview. And also I want to thank the listener, the viewer, who is really taking time out of the busy schedule to watch this so they can find their passion and follow it.
Absolutely. And we're so appreciative of our viewers because, you know, they do have choices. So we're happy that they spend it with us. So we like to start the show with the definition of passion. And I'm going to use Webster's dictionary definition. Webster says that passion is an intense, driving, or overmastering feeling or conviction. What does Fabian say?
Yeah, so as you said, passion, it's an intensified enjoyment of what you're doing. Like there's the basic enjoyment, like I enjoy drinking a cup of tea, I enjoy walking in nature, but I'm not really passionate about it. Or another term I want to use for this intensified enjoyment is like I'm not enthusiastic about drinking a cup of tea. But this intensified enjoyment for me, it really comes from knowing that I follow some kind of path that's leading towards my life's work. And this passion is really like a GPS for me that tells me how closely aligned what I'm doing is towards my life's work, or at least to the next milestone of it.
What I really like is that I've actually never had anyone explain the word passion as enthusiastic, and that is a great way to explain it. If you are enthusiastic about what you're doing, that is passion. So thank you for that, because that you are first. That is a first definition for passion. So this is a show all about you. I really am very curious about your journey and how you ended up going from physics to online marketing. So tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you get there and get you here?
Yeah, so actually this started 4 months before I finished my master's degree in physics. So it really was just a moment like an epiphany that I had when I was standing at the crossroads in Heidelberg, where I was studying physics. And there I looked at the people in the cars and the bicycles, the people who were walking. And I wondered if they have a choice to change their direction in this moment, like going left instead of straight. And then I realized, do I have a choice to change my direction in my life, really? So I studied 6 years for this physics degree. And then I wondered, do I have a choice to change my direction? And the answer was yes, I did. And then I decided, yes, I'm going to finish it, because you never know. Maybe I need it again, or it can be somehow beneficial, and it's just 4 months until it's done. But I gave myself the permission while I was finishing my master's degree to explore some other interests besides science that have always fascinated me. So I started to just Google around and looked for things that interest me, looked into my email inbox, what newsletters am I reading, what books am I reading, or what am I passionate about physics, what are some things that I really like. And at the moment, I was just writing my master thesis. And what I realized is that I didn't really feel passionate about the topic. I was doing my research, but really about the writing process, about creating this thesis, which was about 80 pages long. I really liked organizing this stuff. I liked writing this
all the pieces, pieces of it, but not necessarily the it.
Yes, and then my supervisor said, "Oh, your lighting is really great. We had never had anyone write in this easy to understand way, and really, you're really good at this and you're writing." And then I wonder, okay, maybe I read a book about writing. Maybe it's something that fascinates me. And then I realized, yeah, it's really something I'm passionate about. Just this learning about writing, and then I started taking lots of notes, observing the world around me. And then after a while, I had a little folder of written notes. And then after I got my master's degree in physics, I turned that notes into this book, which you introduced as Unlimited Freedom, and published it. And was really fascinating. And then during the publishing process, or even before that, I knew I had to self-publish, and the only way to market it was doing it online. So
okay.
I knew I had to learn the online marketing, and then I really liked what I was learning, all this setting up the websites, creating these emails, creating this marketing strategy. So I was learning about that, taking online courses, reading books. And this was just shortly after I finished my master's degree, like 1 month or so. And then I still had some savings left. So I gave myself permission to do my own university, like study online marketing, study writing and book publishing for a while. And maybe I will make some money out of it, or I may have to get a job then. And then the latter one happened. So after like a year or so, I published my book. But I was also running out of savings.
Yeah, right.
I knew I didn't want to get a job in physics. So I applied for a job as an online marketing manager, having no background in this field, no professional background. But my writing was really great. And the boss, they loved my application letter so much that they didn't care about my experience, but they just wanted to hire me.
What a fascinating story.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Do you think that your ability to study and your master's program and the structure and all the detail work, do you think that has been helpful as you have moved forward into the online marketing world?
Yes, for sure. So not just caring about the details in something, but also during my years as a student, I took so many courses. I heard so many teachers teach. And so I really got to know how people learn something, or how I learn, and how I have to provide the material so they can learn really fast. And so I'm using that for my books, really, to structure them, and also to structure my online marketing strategies, like more detailed, and also doing some research, of course, about my audience and all this stuff. That's really, so somehow my master's degree is not lost, it's not wasted time, but it really prepared me for like my next step.
I think that's amazing. So the message to our viewers is that nothing is wasted. I mean, no matter where you start, it is part of your journey. It really is part of your journey, and you can always pull on those resources that you have learned. Can people buy this book right now? Where would they go to buy it?
Yes, it's on Amazon. So they would just go to Amazon. It's available on every Amazon platform in the world. They just type in Unlimited Freedom, and
we'll have the link. We'll have the link in the show.
Title. Yeah.
We'll have the link there. They can just click on it. That'll be awesome. So tell us about your new project that you're working on, and what it's all about, why you decided to do this, and some of the people that are going to be on, other than myself, of course, and you have some great people on there. And tell us what your goal is in this summit that you're doing.
Yeah, so I knew already, so after I got my job, that I wanted to do something online, like a big project that may also give me the ability not only to build relationships with people who are a few steps ahead of me in the online space, but also to make some money on the side that may actually provide me with a living. So I was looking for something, and then I stumbled upon creating an online summit, like a virtual event where you just interview people who are experts in their field to a certain topic, and then share these interviews with people who are interested in this. And so so I made a list of topics that I could create a summit on, like 5 topics, and I didn't really know which one I should go for. So I posted the topics in the Facebook group of entrepreneurs, people who maybe my target audience for this event. And then I got the most response for publicity, how to get on TV, how to get on podcasts, on radio, on magazines. And so I just said, okay, I'm not an expert in this, but people are really hot for this topic. So I can just interview people who are experts and then create this event and invite these people who are really interested in this. And
it's great. It's a great idea because, obviously I do a web TV show, but the importance of having that digital asset to promote yourself. So when you learn all these great tips and tools that people are going to learn from your experts, they're going to be able to learn how to get more exposure so that they can get booked on all of these things, and then be able to use that digital asset of them being interviewed, or the online magazine that they're on, or the podcast to promote themselves. So who are some of the experts that are going to be involved in this?
Yeah, so like we have the world's leading reinvention expert called Steve Olsher. So he has been featured on over 300 media outlets, and he's teaching like his approach, how he did it, and what's required if you're just getting started. And we also have TV producers like Paula Rizzo. She has a segment on Fox News. And we have people who have been editors for several years, like editors for TV shows, for movies, or for magazines. So they really share their behind the scenes. So they are getting pitches every day, and they share with us what kind of pitches they don't even look at, and which kind of pitches they really invite and put on their segments. And this is the behind the scenes look. But we also have people like case studies who just started out with nothing, no connections, but still they got featured in TV, and then they used that features to get featured in the next TV show, and somehow, like in a ladder, they work their way upwards from the local shows to national TV shows. So they really share their strategies, and
it's awesome. And we're going to have a link for people to sign up directly below. The summit itself is free, and people are going to be able to watch this and take notes and learn from it, because I believe, and I'm going to ask you as well, I believe that everyone, no matter what line of work you're in, can take advantage of this, and that it could help them in their visibility. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. So it's really structured for people who are just starting out, for people who are maybe a few steps ahead, but may want to get more media attention for their business, attract more clients, build out their status of authority, or also leave their mark on the world. Like they want to have a message, and they want to spread their message just out into the world. And
well, you're a good example. I mean, you are a good example. You don't just talk the talk. You are walking your talk. You decided you wanted to learn about online marketing, and in fact, you started doing your research. Your study skills obviously pulled over from, being getting your master's in physics. But it's a matter of learning. It's a matter of continual learning. And I think that a lot of people miss the boat on this. About somehow they think that they went to school and now they're done. And the rest, should just come to them. What do you think about continual learning? How important is that?
Yeah, I think it's really important to maybe you can have some periods where you learn, but also then you have some periods where you take action. So this is really the second part of the equation. Yes, it's important to continue learning, especially if you're in the online world or if you do any kind of business, because the environment is changing so fast, and people who maybe who are in your industry, they may, if they know something more, have maybe other strategies, then maybe they're a few steps ahead and you're a little bit behind. But also, if you are done with learning, you've taken a lot of notes, then it's time maybe to stop reading all these marketing books, stop reading this or self-help books or whatever you're reading, and then write down like what are your next goals, or what's your one big goal for the next 6 months. And then below that, write what have you learned from the books that you can put into action.
Love that. I love that. So implementation. I mean, it's one thing to read, but you are absolutely right. You need to implement. Otherwise, you're just going to be perpetual student, never getting out of your chair to actually do anything. You know, I'm a huge fan of quotes, and I have for quite a while. Every day I go looking on social media and see if something just pops out at me, and then I R&D it, rob and duplicate, of course giving credit to the person that I got it from. Today's quote that I'd like to share with you is, and this is anonymous, there actually is, as far as I've been able to search, I cannot find anybody who's attributed to this, but the quote is, if you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working for it. That's the quote for today, my quote for today. What's a quote that you happen to like, or you go back to, you know, something to motivate you?
Yeah, so it's a quote from a book called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese writer. And he writes, when you are born, your work is placed inside your heart. And so this is really something I live by. And also it relates to passion and enthusiasm, because the more intense I enjoy what I'm doing, the more closely I'm aligned or on the path towards the work that I may not know at the moment what this work is. Like I think it's really a masterpiece that you may only realize on your final day that, oh, everything that I did so far all worked perfectly together to create my work. But all you need to know is maybe the next milestone that can be is that maybe something inspires you. And then you also, if you have a vision for something, and then you get this enthusiasm for what you're doing. And this has really two really interesting components. This passion, first, it shows you which direction you should go. And second, it gives you the energy to maybe work after your 9 to 5, when you come home already tired. And then you still have this energy maybe to work for two hours and towards your vision. So this is really
great advice. Yeah, great advice. And as I said, you're not just talking the talk. You are actually a student of yourself in terms of how you are creating this amazing space online, which is where we all are going, whether you guys like it or not. We are online. We're here to stay. It might not look exactly how it looks today, but we are online. And so I'm going to encourage you to join the Publicity Mastery Summit. The link, as I said, is down there. You want to click on it and you want to get involved and listen to some of the great experts that are going to be on the show. I have a question for you. If you could spread passion dust anywhere in the world, on anyone in the world, who would you spread it on, and what would you hope to accomplish?
Okay. Do you mean like a specific person or a group of people?
Either or.
Yeah, so I would spread it to my former self, like when I was 20 years old and I was so obsessed with getting a master's degree. I don't regret that I got it, but already at 20, when I came just out of high school, that I already knew that I wanted to do something online and write a book, but I didn't do it because I thought I first have to get maybe a degree, a master's degree, maybe to get some, to accomplish something first and to fulfill the expectation of my parents or the society. But if I could spread some passion dust, it would be my 20-year-old self and say, just follow your passion. Maybe don't go into studying physics if you don't really like it, but maybe start learning what you're interested in, or get a job in this area, or get an internship in this area, and really
Exactly. And we live in, I think we live in a world that is changing, where you see more entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that are not necessarily wanting to be locked into a 9 to 5. And then they have the challenges when they become an entrepreneur of thinking that, well, I work for myself, but we work harder. I think we work longer hours as entrepreneurs because it is ours. We own it. Any thoughts on that in terms of the entrepreneurial world?
Yeah, so that's really fascinating because I'm like not really, I'm in the transition period where I still work in a 9 to 5 and I do everything else after hours, like from 7 to 10, 3 hours PM. So I do my entrepreneur work, like creating this online event and building out my online business. Mm-hmm. So this is really for me, it's really about, this is my next, I don't really hate my job because I know I have to do it, something I have to learn for my next step. So I accept that. And afterwards I work in my online business and I don't really have any problem with it. I just set priorities, but This is really important. So I don't.
I've heard somebody say, and I don't know who it is, that we work a lot of hours now so that we don't have to when we decide we're going to retire or I don't know if any of us ever actually 100% retire, but we put the hours in now, knowing that later on we're going to be able to work when we want to work. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I absolutely agree with it. So sometimes it's really hard and sometimes I suffer, but also, so I always think about what Muhammad Ali said, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion.
Love that.
This is something.
That's a great quote.
Really suffer now and maybe live the rest of my life free, like have my own online business, don't make my own hours, so I can really allow myself to unfold completely, so to develop my talents, my interests, so I can really be of most value to the world. So that's really
I think that's awesome. Fabian, you are awesome. And I really love what you're doing. You are a walking, talking example of how our viewers can make that transition, no matter where they've started, follow your passion, follow your enthusiasm. God, I love that, the enthusiasm. But be enthusiastic and the rest will follow. It's going to be hard work. Don't kid yourself. It's going to be hard work, but the rest will follow. Any last thoughts for our viewers before we say goodbye?
Yes, so I may share another quote. So it's actually something I created. It's like this. On the rainy days, the sun gives you the chance to shine. So it's really when you're really struggling, when you really have challenges or have other problems that come in your way of following your passion, that there's always a way to turn that into an opportunity or to learn for something and not be really frustrated about it or beat yourself up about it. So really know that when you've given everything to your passion, you don't get any results, you just know that there's a point where the sun will break through and shine again. So that's really celebrate that you're just a few steps away from a breakthrough. So that's my last advice.
Thank you for sharing that. And we'll also have that. Those quotes are going to be down there for you to be inspired as well to our viewers. Before we say goodbye, I want to thank our viewers. As we said in the beginning, we know that you have a choice. We are so into the multitasking world out there and we do so many things. So the fact that you've taken time to watch this show and to be with us, and this time with Fabian and myself, we are greatly appreciative. Go out and give somebody an awesome day, and we will see you next time on the next episode of The Passion Point. Goodbye, everyone.